Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here. What a day. It's getting kind of crazy out there right now, especially with my son's dog over here. Actually, doing a little whining. He's a Cowboy fan too, but he's quiet if you pet him. And then, of course, there's my son. What's up, Michael? I just want to get your thoughts. Let me introduce everybody. Let me introduce everybody to my son. And as you can see, he is definitely a true blue Dallas Cowboy fan. I just want to get your thoughts and your take on what is going on with Jerry Jones right now.
Because, or Tony Romo.
Well,
he's going to die. He's going to die on the Redskins. That's what he's going to do. Die on the field.
Well, I got to tell you, it's just been crazy because I've been trying to keep up with everything that's been going on with Jerry Jones, and literally by the minute, you're hearing all different kinds of things. Now, we first heard earlier that Tony and Jerry have met and have been talking about what's going on, what they're going to do, and so on. And so 1 minute you're hearing that a decision could come as soon as tonight. And then I just heard recently that Jerry Jones just said, we're not in a rush to make a decision. So, the March 9th date doesn't necessarily mean anything. But see, here's the thing. If you're Tony Romo, see you later, Mike. If you're Tony Romo, what you want to do is you want to get out of town as fast as possible, so that way you can try and pick the team you want to go to before they spend their money. So you also want to get there so you can learn the offense and be in better shape when the season starts. So sitting around waiting, that's not doing you any good. So I'm beginning to wonder if Jerry Jones has just lost his mind today. And I'm just really lost for words. We've heard everything in the world today. I mean, literally. First we had Tony Romo. Then we're talking about Johnny Football. Johnny Manziel now has popped back up in the picture, and he's talking about, you know what? Before we go any further, I think Jobu needs a drink, and I know I damn sure need a drink, because I am trying to figure out what the hell, damn Jobu, is going on. Jobu? Looks like you're not sharing too much with it. I think we're going to need to get a new bottle. Damn. Jerry Jones definitely makes you drink. I'll tell you that one. Jeez, Jobu, you've been hitting the sauce kind of hard there, haven't you, buddy? Let's see. There we go. So we're talking about Johnny Manziel, and he's saying, I really don't want to comment on him too much and everything else. But he's got a lot of talent. Johnny Manziel? We're back to Johnny Manziel? Lord help us. And then, supposedly, Jerry has met with Peyton Manning and talked about Dak Prescott and his work ethic. And so now Jerry's comparing Dak to Peyton Manning. And if that wasn't enough from Jerry, we got him now talking about trading up for his war daddy. And just before I went on, I got another report from ESPN that says there's been no decision made on Tony Romo, with the exception of there's an agreement that he won't go to the Skins. We are in Jerry Jones overload. Jerry is beyond Wiz Young. Jerry's taking it to a new level. I mean, usually we get these kinds of statements over the course of a couple of months. We'll get a glory hole here, or he's the daddy there. But we don't get Tony Romo decision will be made in the next, possibly next day, to Tony Romo, there's no rush, and we don't have to adhere to the March 9th date, to Johnny Football's got a lot of talent to trading up for War Daddy. It's almost like it's like he's a computer that's gone haywire. He is just spitting stuff out. I mean, they said it was an hour-long press conference. I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall. Now, let me give a shout-out to all my people that are here. Carlos B. Yeah, Jerry Jones is a badass. Well, he may just be bad right now. Green Caesar 55. Would I want that three-way trade to happen? You know what? At this point, I would settle for a ham sandwich trade for Tony Romo. If we could get anything and just get this over with. Here we are, 24/7 news about a guy who's not going to be on our team anymore. I am ready for this to be done. I don't want this to stretch out any longer than it has to. And it's just been too damn much. Rod Perez, nice to see you. Rodney Davis, Dak to the future. I hope Sarah Green's here tonight. She missed last night. I hadn't planned on doing this, but this stuff has just been too crazy not to get back out here. I wouldn't be surprised if I get another alert here in the next few minutes about good old Jerry Jones saying something else that's a little crazy. How's everybody doing tonight? My head is literally spinning. I've been trying to keep up with the combine. Work has been kicking my butt, so I honestly have not had much of a chance to watch anything. I heard that Ross ended up beating the 40-time record, 4.22. Hats off to him. Question can be, well, he's got all that speed. Will he be able to play? A lot of times you get players out there that are fast as can be, but they get on the field, they just don't have it. You know, you get other guys like Emmitt Smith, who wasn't that fast and was a little bit on the small side, but becomes the all-time leading NFL rusher. So you can never tell what's going to happen. So what are your guys' thoughts on the whole Tony Romo possibility of trade? Pablo, thank you. Yanis, how you doing? Max? Robert A. Man, great to see you, man. Law did a 9-hour stream. See, I could talk a lot, but I don't think I could talk that much. And you guys, if you haven't checked out Law Nation, check him out, man. He's got that great deep voice. He's got the perfect voice for radio. I wish I had that voice, but he has got a lot of knowledge. He's got a lot of great videos and stuff up that you definitely want to check out. Green Caesar, thanks for subbing, man, and I'm glad that you like the videos. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff as this off season goes through to try and continue to improve the set. I just started with a new job after being self-employed for the last 20-some years. So I'm getting used to that job, and I have to leave early in the morning. And by the time I fight traffic out of DC, which sucks, like the Redskins, I haven't had as much time to really upgrade and do some stuff down here that I want to. But be assured that we will be doing some other stuff to kind of dress this up, bring some other improvements as the summer goes on. Am I taking calls tonight? I hadn't planned on taking any calls tonight, and I'm kind of leery because we have so many trolls that have kind of hit us. And I'll be honest with you, I forgot the number. Let me see if I have the number down here. Dak, if you remember the number, feel free to call in. 903-345-JOBU. So you can call in. First time viewer on live stream, new sub. Thanks, man. I suck at that. Gorilla Mo, thank you for subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Like I always say, and Doug Thomas, I'll give you a shout out there too. This channel is not me. It's not Jobu. It's all of us together having conversations about the Dallas Cowboys and talking about football, something I truly love. For me, this is a great way to unwind, relax, and feel like I've got 100 friends that are around here. We're all talking about football. Matt, are you trying to get the dumbass comment of the year award? I mean, of the Night Award? Baxter, one season stupid? Did I miss something in there? Could be like the Herschel Walker trade. Well, I don't think that kind of trade will ever happen again. I would love for us to be able to have a Herschel Walker trade with Tony Romo. So apparently, I think what's happening is with Jerry Jones, one, he's in the 70s, but be that as it may. I think right now that the Cowboys smell blood in the water. How you doing, Jackie Smith? That right now they know that there's some teams that are really and truly interested in Tony Romo, and they're trying to see if they can get a deal done. You know, Jerry's saying all the right things about wanting to keep Tony Romo and that we're going to do the best for him and stuff. But I guarantee if somebody comes up with a good trade, that Jerry's going to do it. Now, I don't think he really wants him to go to the Redskins. I almost wonder how Tony Romo would feel about going to the Redskins. I've always said that that's the black hole in the NFL. You get paid, but it's going to be the end of your career. It's going to be the you'll get. And you can go through the long list of, you know, players that were past their prime that went to Washington, you know, from Dion to Adam Archuleta, Bruce Smith, Alvin Harper. You're on the Jobu Sports Report. How are you doing? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Dwayne from Oklahoma City.
Hey, how you doing, Dwayne? What are your thoughts on the whole Tony Romo situation?
Tony Romo, he has to go. Jerry Jones has to release him by tonight. I don't know if they talked or not. Like, I think he needs to go. I think Jerry Jones can make the decision to let him go. Let Romo pick wherever he wants to go.
Well, here's what we know about Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones treats the Dallas Cowboys like his plaything. You know, he admitted that he just likes to stir shit up. And right now, I think he is absolutely positively just loving all the attention that he's getting. Here it is. We've got the combine. We've got a guy who's beaten Chris Johnson's record in the 40. And all anybody is talking about is Tony Romo and wanting to talk to him about what's going on. So I don't think he's going to be in any rush to do something because he's enjoying this limelight. So I would love for this to be finally done and over with tonight, but I don't think it will be. All right. Thanks for calling, man. Appreciate the support. Yeah. Jerry Jones has got to be loving this because he is just happy to be out there just talking and running your mouth. Question for Jobu. We'll be getting his jersey soon. And actually, I've got to, if you've seen most of my jerseys, like this is last year's, because a lot of people ask me, why do you have the number 16? Well, I get one for each season. So we have one for the 13, the 14 season. We didn't get one in the 15 season, but this was last year's. So I'm going to get one of those made for me, and Jobu needs to get another jersey too. Although I'm leery about taking off that number 4 jersey of his. It seems like Dak Prescott had a great season when he was wearing it. Tony Romo in 2014, when he was wearing Tony Romo's number, had a fantastic season. And guess what? I'm a little superstitious. Go figure. I got with a voodoo doll. Wiz Young, you don't have to tell me about looking at Calais Campbell, man. I tweeted at him a couple times today, you know, basically wishing him luck in free agency and stuff. Pray that he doesn't go to the Redskins. They're ready to dump some cash at him. I would love to have him here. And it's funny because you keep hearing about, oh, the Cowboys should look at this guy or look at that guy. And when you start looking at these guys that they're suggesting for the Cowboys to get, and you start looking at some of their stats, they're not that great of stats. They may be a little younger than Calais, but I'm telling you, that guy will be a beast. But what do I know? I'm an idiot with a voodoo doll. Let's check some more of your responses here. Do I think we should sign Brandon Marshall free agency? Oh, boy. Brandon Marshall, now that he's on his meds, is much more even-keeled. But I'm not sure that he's really the right player for the Cowboys. Now, he's got all kinds of talent and stuff, but I'm just not sure that he's going to want to be competing with Dez. He wants to be the number one. He wants to be that guy. And so you have to look at that dynamic You know, you've already got that guy with Dez. And is Brandon Marshall going to come here and become a cancer? Sometimes ability gets trumped by your ability to get along with others. And I'm not sure that he's the best fit. Now, it would be interesting to see him out there. But, you know, we looked at T.O. with Roy Williams and stuff. It just didn't work out that well. It was just too many. There just weren't enough balls to go around. Let's put it that way. Blog Thomas, do we trade up in the draft? That's another one of those things that Jerry Jones was saying that, you know, he might trade up for his war daddy. I'm not one that's ever liked trading up. It risks too much in my mind. The Cowboys, and this is what's also kind of interesting, we have 21 free agents. 21. So whether you keep them or get somebody else to replace them, that's still 21 guys that you have to get signed. We haven't signed anybody. Anybody. Every one of those guys are all still free agents. So is it that the Cowboys are trying to let the market be set by free agency and then look at signing these guys and risk possibly losing them? I don't know. We're going to have a lot of holes to fill. And if we trade up, we're talking about taking multiple picks that we need to fill with those 21 guys. So I don't think we do move up, not unless somehow we get some kind of a trade for Tony Romo and get a whole lot coming back. We only have 6 picks. It's not a lot to trade with unless you're talking about mortgaging the future and giving future picks for next year or the year after. And I'm definitely not a fan of that. What we would have to offer, Matt, at 28, you know, if you're talking about trying to get up to get, you know, Garrett, you're going to have to give up this year's first round, next year's first round, and maybe the year after and the year after that. The Redskins had to give up 3 to move up 4 slots to get RG3. We're 28. Don't nobody want the 28th pick that's up at the top. Should Lyle Collins move to right tackle? And yeah, you know, that's an idea that I have thought of myself. And we're going to end up keeping Ron Leary. He's under contract, so he's not going anywhere. To me, Collins is more athletic, and I would rather have him out there, and I trust him actually staying healthy more than Ron Leary. You're going to end up getting the fastest guys on end, those edge rushers. And if you look at what happened with Doug Free this year between the offside penalties, because he's trying to get a jump on that defender, and the holding calls and stuff, he's just not athletic enough anymore to do that on an every single play basis. Collins is a beast who can move and has great feet, and I'd like to see him out at right tackle. You can have a lesser guy at guard because you've got the tackle and center right there. And, of course, that center rush, you generally have a running back that's going to help out. So you can get a lesser guy there at guard. To me, I would love to see Collins back out at tackle. Basically, that's what he played in college. Sorry, Law isn't going to be on tonight. I heard he was doing a 9-hour live stream, so he's probably asleep right about now. I'm sorry, Rod. You're right. I'm thinking of Chaz Green. I'm sorry. I had too much of Jobu's rum. Ron Leary is going to get a big fat payday. He's going to be gone. I was thinking of Chaz Green. Chaz Green can't stay healthy, so forgive me. It's been a long, long week. You're right. Bill, Ron Leary, he's gone. He's going to get about a $30 million paycheck. Jackie, I said that exact same thing, that when we listen to or look back at some of these other videos where we've had Romo fans, and I called them Romosexuals and stuff like that, we have literally divided up right down the middle of, you know, either you're a Dak fan and the hell with the Romo fans and vice versa. When this is all said and done, I hope that we come together as Cowboy fans, because in the end, it's all about the star on the helmet, not one guy. You know, and what I have no problem with disagreeing with somebody else or somebody else having a different point of view. But what I don't like is when people disrespect you. You know, it's the whole thing of our country right now. If you don't agree with me, it's F you. Well, I don't want that here. You know, if you think that Tony Romo is a better quarterback, give me your argument and stuff like that, and we can agree to disagree. So hopefully we can get past the Tony Romo thing and get back to dealing with the guys that are going to be here and dealing with the 2017 season. Because can we still get a Jobu t-shirt? I still have a few of them left for the 2016 ones. I'm going to be working on, actually they're working on designs right now for the 2017. I'll probably change them up a little bit. You know, this is actually the 2014 ones here. That's when the Cowboys were really good. Had that fantastic season. Another season we should have been to the Super Bowl. So if you still want one, go to jobumancave.com. Like I said, I think I've got some 2Xs, some large, and some extra large still left, but not very many of them. So I'll get back with you if we have any other sizes that are kind of off the skew. Coughlin wasn't happy with Blake Bortles. Well, who is happy with Blake Bortles? I'll be honest with you. What I think about Jeff Heath, I think he's good in spots, but I'm not sure about him being a full-time starter. Time will tell. I mean, he did have a great game there at the end of the season and stuff, but I don't know how he's going to be. Cowboy Chris, okay. We'll see what we can do. Cowboy Chris, here we go. Email me. I tell you, Cowboy Chris, email me at this email address. All right, email me at that email address, Cowboy Chris, and we'll see what we can do. Yeah, we got to be all about the star. Rashad Simmons, thank you for the love, man, on that one. I don't know if I'm better than ESPN or not, but I've heard a couple of you guys say that, and that really makes me feel good. My voodoo dolls. Unfortunately, and people have asked me, I actually made Jobu about 4 years ago, or is it 5 years ago? And he's one of a kind, and I've had some people ask me if I can make some more of them. The only thing is it's hand carved. It's a lot of work into it. And what I have to do to make one, it wouldn't be, I just can't do, I just don't have the time to be able to do a whole bunch of them. And Jobu, your empty bottles are kind of piling up here, buddy. Let me get those before I knock one of them over. As you can see, Jerry Jones will make you drink. Jobu's phone number, 903-345-JOBU, okay? We'll take a couple more calls, and for the night, hopefully we won't get our good old trolls back. If I could bring any Cowboy player in their prime from the past to join the current team, how would Dez and Michael Irvin settle? Well, ooh. I would take Michael Irvin over Dez, to be honest with that 88. But if I could take any player, I think I would probably take Randy White in the middle because he was just unstoppable, the manster on defense. That's cool. You know, funny thing about Lucky Whitehead, True Blue, it seemed like from the time they suspended him for that game, all of a sudden he just went off a cliff. I don't know if that ruined his psyche, if he just kind of decided to have, say, F you guys or whatever, but you could see a big change from there. Charles Haley would be another great one. There's a lot of great players that would be great. I mean, you can just go to the Hall of Fame, you know. I wouldn't mind having Ed Too Tall Jones out there on the end, you know, or Harvey Martin. I would love to. Oh, Larry Allen. Wouldn't we love to put Larry Allen there for Doug Free? Roy Williams, yeah. Which Roy Williams are we talking about? The running back? I'm just giving me the cornerback or the wide receiver. It doesn't matter. Neither of them we need. Emerson Walls, that'd be great. Prime time back there would be fantastic. How about Woodson? I would love to have him back there right now. Somebody who can get the ball on things. Darren Woodson, yep, see, just not like me. Darren Woodson. Allen for free, yeah. If we could get Leon Lett, that'd be another good one. Yeah, there's so many. Here's the thing about us. We don't realize how spoiled we are. When you look at having gone to 8 Super Bowls, having won 5, the Hall of Fame players, the Tom Landry, the Jimmy Johnson, it's an embarrassment of riches to the fact where we expect to be a Super Bowl team every year, although it hasn't been for quite a while. And my son, unfortunately, doesn't really remember the last time at the Super Bowl. But our franchise has had one hell of a history here. And it's actually an amazing thing when you start thinking about it. I mean, imagine if you were, say, the Cleveland Browns. You know, you had Jim Brown, but what else have we had? Not a whole lot. Moose Johnson. Only thing about Moose Johnson is there really isn't the fullback anymore in the NFL. Would I see the Cowboys drafting in the first round? Well, the problem with drafting in the first round is we're drafting at 28. And at 28, what you really want to be able to do is player available. And you don't know what's going to be the run on there. Is it going to be run on quarterbacks? Is the run going to be on defensive linemen? Is it going to be on offensive linemen? So you never know what may fall that far down. You know, you might end up being able to get a great player that you weren't thinking about if you're flexible, because you literally want to take the best player available. We're going to have a lot of needs from wide receiver, offensive lineman, backup quarterback, defensive lineman, pass rusher, cornerbacks. You know, basically you can almost go anywhere with one of those picks. So you want to find the best guy available, at least in my mind. Yeah, well, if O.J. Howard's there, I'd definitely take him at 28, but I don't think he'll be there that late. How come Jobu's wearing sunglasses tonight? Man, he's just had too much rum to drink, and he's trying to hide those bloodshot eyes, man. Jerry has got us drinking like crazy. Yeah, you know, Bill, you're right that Stephen Jones has said that, but here's the thing. What you got to think about is you don't ever want people to know what you're thinking or what you're planning on doing. It's like playing poker. You got to have a poker face. You know, that's why Jerry Jones is out there with all these crazy different scenarios. So you don't know what to think. So if you're a guy, like if you're the Texans right now, you're thinking, could they be working on a deal to trade him to Washington? We really want Tony Romo because we think we got a chance to go to the Super Bowl with him, and we don't see anybody else we really want. Maybe we need to give Jerry a call and maybe see if we can work out something. It'll get you thinking. But if you go out and say, "Oh man, we're going to try and sign Calais Campbell," you have given up any leverage that you had in negotiating. If you're buying a car or anything like that, you want that salesperson to know that you're okay walking away, because then they're going to work harder to try and get that deal done. If they know you're desperate and can't drive home because you don't have a car and you got to have a car tonight, guess what? You're getting screwed. So that's where they are right now. He's certainly not going to say, yeah, we want to go get Calais Campbell. You just increased the market and you lost the trade. You lost any negotiating power that you wanted. So who knows what the Cowboys are doing? They have been, with the exception of Jerry Jones, silent on that. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But I can guarantee you they're doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of looking, and really checking things out right now, because I think they're looking at it. We are close to being there, but our biggest problem is we cannot get to the quarterback, and I don't think that you're going to be able to do that through the draft for this year coming up. Edge rushers take time to develop. They're not, you know, Michael Strahan's their first year. So that's where I think that you look at, you know, you get this guy, it'll open up the draft. So you don't have to worry about taking an edge rusher unless there's a great guy that you say, we want that guy to go along with it. And if there is, that's even better, because now you have a more potent defensive line. Let's see some of your responses here. No homosexuals left. No, Mr. Chips, come on, man. We're going to start healing. We're going to start getting together as a fan base again. We're going to start welcoming those Tony Romo fans that have hated us all season, you know, long, okay? The number, okay. 903 345 Jobu to call in. There we go. Oh, without a doubt. I've equated Dak, Zeke, and Dez as the new triplets. T2 is actually what I call them. When you look at them, it's almost exactly identical. And the thing you have to love with Dak and Zeke is how well they've mixed and come together. You have to look at how Dez has matured this past year. It wasn't too long ago where Dez was out there ready to cuss out Tony Romo because he's not getting the ball. There are many games where Dak wasn't forcing the ball to him. But when training camp was around, they said there was one incident that happened that basically set the tone because I can't remember exactly what it was, but Dez didn't do what Dak wanted to do, and Dez got into his face and said, I need you to do blah, 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 blah when I tell you to do that. And if you don't, it's just not going to work. And instead of Dez going off like, you son of a bitch, rookie, he's like, all right, I understand what you're saying. From that point on, he earned his respect from Dez. And I look for this offseason for the two of them to get their dynamic together in the way that Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin did, where they're going to be a beast to stop next year. You watch that happen. Do I think our defense will be better next year? Well, that depends on if we get a pass rush. If we get a pass rush, our defense can be a lot better. Our defense played well at times, but it was evident that we just did not have enough firepower to stop some of the elite quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, it drove me crazy seeing Aaron Rodgers with his chin strap not even strapped up, just popped on one side, and having all day long, he had no fear of our pass rush the whole game. So we have to address that. And that's why I say, Stephen Jones, you got to look at seeing if we can, do something. To me, that will be the difference of that season being a success or failure, is if we get that guy as a pass rusher. And here we go with another call.
Yes. Accept, press 1.
You're on the Jobu Sports Report. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, you are on the Jobu Sports Show right now. Oh. Yeah, well, it's a Google phone number, so you can pick your area code. So yeah, we are definitely similar.
I've become a huge fan of yours here recently. I started out not being that big of a fan. I just thought you were real monotone, but you put in a lot of work to find out the facts of what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys and what's going on in the league. And if that doesn't make you a fan, I don't know what does.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I take a lot of pride in knowing what I say. I'm not always right by any stretch of imagination. Some facts behind me to try and back up my argument. So what can I do for you tonight?
I was just calling in. I was listening to your live stream. I think you know out the number. I thought I'd call in and
well, I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you for all the support, man. And like you said, we're going to be doing some upgrades and stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of great events. We'll be there at the draft. So keep on watching, and I appreciate it, man. Have a great weekend.
I appreciate it, sir.
And see, that's one of the reasons why I love doing this, is because it's fun for me, and if it makes people happy, if I can make one person happy a day, my day has been made. Robert A. Man, come on, man. Dallas definitely does love tall receivers. So tell me, guys, who would you guys like to see the Cowboys be able to draft? If the draft was wide open and you had whoever you wanted to pick, what would be the one guy that you say that the Cowboys couldn't live without in this year's draft? Thanks, Tone. Thanks, True Blue. I appreciate the love on that. Yes, Drew. We will be in the draft. I mean, heck, it's going to be easy to get to the draft. We're only 2.5 hours from Philadelphia, believe it or not. But it's going to be interesting being that cesspool, with all those Eagle fans. God. So it's one of those love-hate deals. So we'll be there. we'll see how that goes. And I can't wait. I'm sorry?
I said the Eagles almost didn't have a first
Yeah,
round
the
pick.
Eagles were almost so boneheaded. They had the draft and almost didn't have a first-round pick. How bad would that be? McKinley? Oh, yeah. Okay, Tank McKinley. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. Well, here's what happens when you restructure contracts. And a lot of people think, because I remember every time they did it with Tony Romo, people would say, Tony Romo is such a team guy. He ended up giving money back to the Cowboys so they could sign other players. And it's like, no. That's actually not how it works. What it is this. When you see, like, when Hainsworth had his $100 million contract, don't pay attention to that final big number because it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the guaranteed money, the signing bonus and what's guaranteed. Because if the player doesn't live out the length of the contract, you're on the hook for whatever that guaranteed money is. Okay? So the reason why you have big signing bonuses is you can spread that money out over the length of the contract. So if you sign a guy for a 4-year contract, you give him a $20 million signing bonus, you get hit for $4 million a year of that money over the life of the contract. So what they do when they restructure is they say, okay, we're going to take $10 million and write you a check that wasn't guaranteed right now. And then they spread that $10 million over the length of the contract. So hypothetically, you could take Tony Romo's contract right now. That's $24 million is what we owe. You could go ahead and write him a check for $20 million. Spread out over the next 3 years, you're only actually having to pay him then on the cap $7.5 million roughly. But the problem is, if that person is cut or released, whatever money has been paid that was guaranteed accelerates and goes on the cap right now. So when they redid his contract, basically they just took money. It's like going to a payday loan, took money here and kicked it out later on. But sooner or later, you're going to lose your car. Or you need that player to be able to live out the length of the contract. So that's how it worked with getting cash. And there's other players that they can do the same thing with if they want to get cash or they really want to get someone, they can do it. But again, Tony Romo's actual salary is only $14 million this year, but we're still making up for the other $10 million that was borrowed for restructuring years ago. So that's the misconception that you always hear, that Tony Romo is the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. No, actually he's not. He's way down the list. He's about middle of the pack as far as salary. It's just the Cowboys have been using it as a piggy bank. Well, I see some great names here. Do I ever think we'll get that D tackle to keep our boy? I hope we can get that D tackle. You know, I had so much hopes for DeMarcus Lawrence, but he's had some of those back issues, and I'm praying that, you know, the back surgery that he's had gets it cleared up and that he becomes a beast. You look at David Irving, who I'm still surprised they haven't done that $600,000 tender to him yet, because you don't want to let that guy get away. I have a lot of hopes for him, but you still have to have somebody that ties up the middle, who commands those double teams, and those other guys will prosper if you can. Well, Cowboy Chris, here's the thing, Cowboy Chris, when you talk about Tony Romo's $14 million, that's actually his salary, but the number for this year's cap is actually $24 million. And so there's two ways you can deal with it. If he's traded, you're basically going to still get a $19 million hit for this year. If he's cut, then you'll still get that $19 million hit for this year. If he's a cut that's after June 1st or designated June 1st, you can take that $19 million and take 10 of it this year and 9 of it next year. So you can spread it out. But you can't use the money until June 1st. So it's a couple of different things you can do. If the Cowboys are looking to sign a big name, you need that money right now. In which case they'll have to restructure the other people or take the $5 million now. Ultimately, they would be better served if they could make him a June 2nd cut. It all just depends on what they're looking at trying to do with the team. If you have a guy that you know that you want that first day or two in free agency, then you got to have the cash right now to sign. Although you can get creative, big signing bonus and a long contract, but it's an older guy you don't want to. Adam, I have a lot of respect. Okay. Well, thank you, man. You know, I appreciate everybody saying so many nice things and stuff about me. I appreciate that. But so you got to understand, for me, I've gone through some things in my life. I've actually almost died a couple times. I've been burnt. I've had 5 knee operations and things like that. Been divorced, had to raise my kids by myself. And I'm not looking for pity or anything. But one thing I learned is that every day is a blessing. And no matter how bad things may get, there's a million people that wish they only had your problems. They're in far worse shape. So what I always try and do is I get up in the morning, and any day I can get out of bed and go to work, I am happy that I have a job and that I can get out of bed. And I like to, as I say, spread the mojo. So people enjoy what I'm doing here. For me, it motivates me and it gives me energy and it makes me want to do this and do the best I can at it. Because if it takes you away from the crazy shit that's going out in the world, and believe me, we got a lot of batshit crazy on both sides of the aisle, up the middle, up the back, and everything else, that you need a place to be able to go and kind of forget about all that crap. Oh, we got California in the house. Hello, you're on the Jobu Sports Report. What's your name, where are you calling from, and what's on your mind? Hey, how you doing? How's the weather out there?
I'm doing good. First, I'm a new subscriber, and I love your videos. I love you and Jobu.
Well, thank you. Well, I appreciate that. So, what's on your mind tonight? Any questions you got for me, or any thoughts on the Cowboys?
So, here's what my problem is with the whole 3-week trade with Carson and I as their rescue.
Mm-hmm.
What I have a problem with is Jerry Jones, or like people saying that, oh, it's Romo's decision to, oh, where does Romo want to go? Jerry's like saying, oh, where does Romo want to go? Where does he?
Well, yeah, I see your point on that. Well,
yeah.
One, I think he doesn't. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but it's okay. But this is Jerry Jones' team. Why is Jerry Jones asking Romo where does he want to go?
Well, here's the thing. I think it's because he has have a true affection for Tony Romo. For whatever reason, he's latched on to Tony Romo more than he has latched on to anybody else, like he's his son. So from that standpoint, one, I don't think he wants him to go to Washington because he wouldn't want to have to face him. And, you know, if you think about if he lost to Tony Romo and the Redskins, it'd be pretty embarrassing for him. And two, I think, you know, when you look at what he did with DeMarcus Ware, knowing that they couldn't afford to pay him, at least out of respect, let you go ahead and finish your career off the way you want to finish it. And so that's what I think it really is about that more than anything else. I don't think any other player he would care about if he could get something for him, but it's just he's got an affection for Tony Romo.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yep.
And I really appreciate the things Romo's done for this franchise.
Yeah.
But I think it's Jerry Jones' decision. I mean, Jerry does have the final stance. What Jerry does, what he wants to do, and he's going to go try to do it. You know? Yeah,
I appreciate the call. But here's the thing, though. Jerry does a whole lot of talking, but if you notice, a lot of things that Jerry talks don't happen. And I think a lot of that is Jerry is the decoy now. Stephen Jones really runs that team. You know, we've got the scouting department with Will McKay there and everything. And Jerry is just off being Jerry. And you notice how everybody is hanging on Jerry Jones's word. And generally speaking, like when we had Johnny Manziel conversation, everybody thought for sure that Jerry Jones was going to do anything it took, even if he had to trade up to get Johnny football. But the reality was we went the exact opposite direction and went for alignment. So take what Jerry Jones says with a grain of salt. If somebody offered something really good for Tony Romo, you can best believe they would take it. All right? Thank you for the support, and thank you for calling in tonight. Yeah, so take what Jerry Jones says with a grain of salt, because Jerry Jones, he kind of gets out there and he's literally on overload. And I can understand now why his daughter won't allow him to be on Twitter. I mean, the stuff we've heard just today from, Tony Romo and I have had a talk. Tony could be decision tonight to there's no rush for a decision and we don't have to hold it to the ninth date. We'll do the best for Tony Romo. Then he starts talking about Johnny Manziel, and then he compared Dak Prescott to Peyton Manning. Then he's talking about trading up for a war daddy. And it's kind of like got your head spinning. Like I said, literally, it's got me drinking tonight because I just can't keep up. Because literally, it's like every 10 minutes, boom, there's another update about something else that Jerry Jones has said. And of course, all the media here is loving it because everybody's feeding on all that conversation that Jerry Jones is putting out there. And they're going to keep throwing it at us. So it's interesting, to say the least. And I'm just ready to get this thing done and over with. And I'm hoping it'll happen soon. Ron Zappa rum, guys. So if you're asking about what kind of rum, although with Jobu, just about any kind of rum will do. Just make sure it's rum. What happened to showers? Showers pretty much got lost in the mix there. Yeah, Cowboy Chris. Yeah, Jerry, I want me some glory holes. Jerry Jones is an old drunk. Yeah, but you know what? He's got a whole lot of money and he owns a team, so he can do what he wants. Man, you guys are showing a whole lot of love here tonight. Jay Barrera, appreciate it, man. Well, JD Bleed Blue and Silver, to me, Calais Campbell probably cost us $10 million a year. And I know that sounds like a lot on the cap, but when you think about what the Cowboys haven't spent on the defense in so long, we paid $8 million for Greg Hardy, which was unfortunately more of a headache than he was worth. We should have seen the writing on the wall and not gotten past the off-the-field issues. When you look at some of the signings that we have, I mean, we've got Tyrone Crawford, and he's a great guy, and I love him and all that, has had shoulder injuries. We've redone his contract a couple of times, and his cap number this year is $10 million. So when you look at Tyrone Crawford this year at $10 million, or you could get Calais Campbell, technically at $10 million, but you could sign a nice contract where there's guaranteed money up front. It could actually be like a $5 million cap hit for this year, and then you end up saving that money and spreading it out over the other years. So it's not that inconceivable to do something that you can make work out.
John from Florida.
How you doing tonight? Is it John?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. John from Florida, man. I bet your brother down there is a lot better than it is up here in Virginia. What can we do for you tonight?
Oh, yeah, I'm good, man. I usually tend to watch the show and everything, and I just want to say it's pretty cool.
I appreciate that, man.
All right, so what I wanted to ask you was, what do you think about the safety out of UConn that they've been doing a lot of buzz about? And do you also think that Reuben Foster's stuff is going to fall far enough that maybe he could end up at the bottom of the first round?
He could fall. Again, the draft is one of those funny beasts. You never know what the run is going to be on. Is it going to be defensive linemen? Is it going to be cornerbacks? So anything is possible. But you can't really count on one guy or the other falling, down that far. But you just never know. I'm hoping that we can end up getting a great player. But I think, again, the key for us is to be flexible and take the best player available. All right. So hopefully we can get somebody really, really good. Unfortunately, I haven't had enough time to really start going through and studying a lot of the guys yet, and I'll probably be able to start doing that maybe next week or so, and I'll really start getting the guy that I'll say the can't-miss guy that we need. All right? All right. Thanks for calling, man. Appreciate the love. Tony, the number, I posted it there a little earlier. It's 903-345-JOBU. That's the number. Sheldon Richardson, I'm not crazy. Again, Sheldon Richardson's another one of those guys who has had some off-field issues. And I'm not sure that his dynamic is going to be that great in our locker room. And his numbers aren't really that sky high that you can say that, okay, we'll take a shot on him. I just look at how bad the Greg Hardy thing ended up being. It wasn't just so much that he didn't play that well. He played okay. He had, 6 sacks or so. But what he ended up destroying as far as team chemistry-wise, it was just bad. And I would hate to see it again. How are we doing tonight, Cowboy Jack? Nice to see you here tonight. Tapper would be, well, we don't know how Tapper's going to be. He's injured, all this season and stuff. Hopefully he'll become a player. But, we'll see what we get because it'll be a second year. And Blake, I want to see a picture of that shirt, man. Glad you finally got it. Sorry it took me so long to get it out, but life has been crazy. And here we go again. You're on the Jobu Sports Report. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, man, my name's Paul. I'm calling from Richmond, Virginia.
Hey, what's going on, man? You're just down 95 from me. What can we do for you tonight?
I'm sorry, say it again.
What can we do for you tonight?
I'm just happy to hear from you, man. It's subscribing to your YouTube channel, man.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
I'm a huge Cowboy fan, man. I don't know what part of Virginia you live in. I don't know what part of Virginia you live in. I don't think it's too far away, but it's nice to know we got people here that are Cowboy fans here because I just see so many Redskins games everywhere.
Oh, but I'm just about 2 hours up 95 from you, man. In fact, I'll probably be down at Redskins training camp trying to throw some bad mojo down in Richmond this summer. So maybe I'll see you out that way. We showed up there a couple of years back wearing Cowboys gear and stuff and had a great time down there. So maybe we'll get there.
Okay, cool, man. Like I said, just showing your channel some love. I look forward to being here for a while.
All right, man. And don't worry, there are plenty of Dallas Cowboy fans, especially up here around D.C. and stuff. So there's actually a fan club down there, and I'm trying to remember her name. I'm actually a member of it, too, because I've come down to Richmond and watched the game with them. We had an autograph signing that was down there with, who was there? Nate was there. Who else was in Richmond when we went down there?
Okay, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks a lot for calling. Yeah, there's some great Dallas Cowboy fan clubs all over the place. Up here we have DMV fan club. They meet out off of Central Avenue on Sundays at Dave & Buster's. There's another group in Richmond, Virginia that meets out there, and I cannot remember. It's the Central Virginia Dallas Cowboy fan club. And they end up having trips to the games and having autograph signings with players and stuff. And we have the big autograph signing, I believe, the end of April or early May. And I think Dak Prescott is actually coming to Chantilly, Virginia, along with a lot of other Dallas Cowboy players. So even though you may not be in Texas, the Dallas Cowboys are all over the place. Well, like I said, I'm not crazy about Sheldon Richardson as far as personality-wise, but, here's the great thing. Football is so unpredictable. You can have all the facts. You can look at this guy and say he's a can't-miss player. You can look at a team and say that team is so much better than the other. But a lot of times that team is the team that wins the Super Bowl, not the guys that you expect. It's not always the best players and things like that. And there's so many different combinations and things that can happen that basically you're giving an educated guess. I try and give you my educated guess, be it right, wrong, or different from what I've seen happen in the past, what I've seen with each player, what I know about football and things like that. So hopefully, maybe I'm close, but it's really unpredictable. You can't expect anybody to be 100% right. So you're going to probably disagree with me, in my opinions, a lot of times. You're on the Jobu Sports Report. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hey, True Blue, how you doing tonight, man? Thank you for all the support, man. You're always here like a true blue Dallas Cowboy fan.
That's right.
Yeah. So what can we do for you tonight, man?
So you go to the training camp and outside?
I did 2 years ago, and I'm going to be working on going again this year, most definitely. And Jerry Jones announced they're going to split time between California and Fresno. So I will be at one or the other of those, at least for a couple of days this year. Definitely. I'm hoping this year I'll end up doing a lot more events, a lot more games, so hopefully we can get together with a lot of you great fans. All right? Thank you very much for the support. And it looks like we have the dumbass comment of the day from Shallow Hal. Congratulations. You win. If Romo stays and starts, we win the Super Bowl. There you go. Yes, because he does that every year for us. Not. Okay. He's not going to answer that. Yeah, well, I answered it. Okay. True Blue, good to hear you. Chris Long is getting a little long in the tooth. He got his Super Bowl ring with New England, and he got out. Jobu for president. You know what? I wouldn't want that scrutiny for Jobu. You think Cowboys should aim for well, the thing with Alfred Morris is they're looking at it as he's not really that great of a fit. They didn't get from him what they had hoped. And if they can trade him, which I doubt they're going to really be able to, because running backs pretty much are a dime a dozen these days, they'll end up kicking him on to the curb, get that $1.6 million cap relief, and use it for other free agents. I think that they may actually be thinking about keeping Darren McFadden because he's a little bit more dynamic. And I think Darren McFadden would probably like to stay in Dallas because he doesn't have to be that guy. You know, with Zeke Elliott taking most of those things, he can be the change-up back and possibly still get that ring and stuff together if they can get their stuff together. Whereas you go to one of these teams that are desperate for a running back that may not have that line, you're back to square one like you were in Oakland with a terrible line on a terrible team. And when you look at somebody like DeMarco Murray, if he had to do over again, knowing what he knows now, do you think he would have still made that deal to go to Philadelphia for more money? I don't think he would have. Well, what's up, Brandon B? Yeah, Darren McFadden has always been a Cowboy fan, so look for them to maybe make a move to try and keep him. Okay, well, Cowboy Chris, you didn't have to put it quite that way about Alfred Morris, okay? Just to say he's been a disappointment. You don't have to say he's ass. So, wow. Guys, I don't know how it is, but this hour always seems to fly by with you guys, man. I can't believe it's almost 10 o'clock already. And as always, it has been a freaking fantastic hour talking about our Dallas Cowboys. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining in, subscribing, showing the support for the show. Any craziness, which we know Jerry Jones will have, any breaking news on the Cowboys, I'll be sure to put a video up on it. If and when Tony Romo is released, we can guarantee you we will be live streaming. I don't care where I am. We will definitely be talking about that. And like the rest of you guys, I am ready to get this thing done and over with. I'm tired of talking about Tony Romo. I'm tired of having to go ahead and justify Dak Prescott to these Romosexuals out there. It's time for the Dallas Cowboys to put an end to the Tony Romo speculation and start focusing in on the 2017 season and the players that we're going to have here. So, guys, have a great weekend. We will see you guys here as soon as possible. And damn if Jerry Jones hasn't gotten me drinking. I will see you guys live streaming Monday night, 9 o'clock Eastern. Have a great night.